Hello folks, Wolfland here bringing you another nerdy video. It is now Tuesday as I'm recording this, which means it is time for D&D. Now, let's see here. We are talking about, last week we talked about the Artificer and some of the changes that they made to it. I talked about its core class in the first video, and then earlier tonight, it was around midnight today, the rest of that video went up, which covered the subclasses, because as per trying to be fair to D&D Beyond, I am not going completely over everything so quickly, so that if people want, they still need to buy the books, which is why you guys can only see the Barbarian symbol, and I will show you the other two pictures as we get to certain sections. So, we're now getting into the section which should speed us up. Now, this should significantly speed us up. I'm going to be covering potentially two classes. What's it called? Two classes. Two subclasses a class. I'm trying to figure out how I should phrase this. I'll be covering possibly two classes because, unlike the Artificer, we only have subclasses and optional class features to go over. So I'll probably cover the Barbarian and the Bard today. Now, here's where things get a bit interesting, folks, because there's some parts of this book, we're getting to the point in this book where there are some aspects of it that I found disappointing, personally. So, some of the optional, Barbarian features are quite good. There's one that allows you to get an additional skill choice. Sorry, you get another skill at levels, at certain levels for the Barbarian, but no, they have to be a Barbarian skill. So there's that. There's also, now again, I should point out, the two optional class features for the Barbarian are not replacement ones. There's some optional class features that are full-on replacements. We'll cover them when we get to them, but then there's some that are not replacements. They are additional things that you get. For example, Primal Knowledge. That is an additional one you get. And then you get one called Instinctive Pounce at level 7. Now this is my favorite additional feature, because I actually have a Barbarian character who I believe actually just got this ability, which is great because it allows you to get into combat a lot more effectively, and it mimics the abilities that we see in other Barbarian-esque characters or NPCs. Now I'm going to try and not give the full description of the abilities, just due to the fact that, again, I'm trying to be fair to D&D Beyond. I don't want to completely screw them over. I don't want to, just because I have access to all the stuff, I don't want to, stop people from, purchasing the book. I need to be fair. I need to support the platforms in my own little way. Now let's see. We now have, that's it. We now move on to Part of the Beast. Now, here's the interesting thing, folks. It's one of the things that I noticed, judging by this artwork, it looks like it's different artists. It seems like they have a multitude of different artists working on Tashas Cauldron of everything, and you will see the change in artwork quite a bit. And again, it's a nice little refreshing taste. This art style is very different than what we had with the Artifice artwork. So again, for me, it's good. I like it. Now, as you can tell by this image, this is not a tabaxi. This is actually a human barbarian of the beast, and that is because the path of the beast, it basically allows you to be some kind of descendant of there's different origins of where your power comes from. When one of your parents is a lycanthrope, and you've inherited some of their curse, 2, you're descended from an archdruid and inherited the ability to partially change shape. A Fae spirit gifted you the ability to adopt different bestial aspects. An ancient animal spirit dwells within you, allowing you to walk this path. So, like, to give you 4 examples of how you could have obtained this power. Now, we're going to go into the flavor text of this, folks. Barbarians who walk the path of the beast draw their rage from a bestial spark burning within their souls. That beast bursts forth in the throes of rage, physically transforming the barbarian. Such a barbarian might be inhabited by a primal spirit or descended from shapeshifters. You can choose the origin of your feral might or determine it by rolling on the origin of the beast table. One of the things I like about rolling is, in some cases, your character may not be aware of this. Like, your character could not actually be aware, and it's the DM that decided. You know, like, for me, that sometimes that's so fun. Like, having blank parts of your backstory and allowing the DM to adopt it. But okay. So obviously, when you get, like, one of your features involves when you rage, you transform into, your bestial thing, and you get to choose a weapon each time you rage. Now, they're simple, like, you get these natural weapons. They count as simple weapons for you, and you can add your strength modifier to the attack and damage rolls when you attack with them as normal. However, some of them have different benefits than others, so there's a reason why you would use occasionally one or the other. You have a bite, which obviously transforms your teeth and your jaw, maybe. There's your claws, and then there's a tail. Now, I'm not going to go into super specifics of them, just because, as I said, I'm trying to make sure that people still need to buy the book. I didn't get any complaints though with the last video, so technically I'm not in any trouble. It's just that I thought about it over the week, and I was like, okay, I gave out a little too much information on the Artificer, which again I still love. Like, it's such a good class. Now, I like this. This is actually one of my favorite types of barbarians, but with the exception of the Berserker. Oh, I don't want to. We're just going to move down. At level 6, Bestial Soul. Now, this is an ability that you can recharge on a short or long rest, and you get to choose one of the following benefits, which lasts until you finish your next short or long rest. Now, this is, once again, you adopting more aspects of animals. You potentially gain... I'm trying to figure out how to say this without giving too much information. It enhances your mobility in combat. There's one transformation that enhances your ability to jump. Then there's an ability that... Hold on, folks. Oh, my nose is so itchy today. Then again, my antihistamines haven't kicked in yet, so that's my nose is probably irritated. But yeah. So essentially, this level 6 ability, Bestial Soul, it further amplifies your transformations, or you adopt an animalistic properties by giving you some extra mobility. One is a swim speed. One transformation is a climb speed, which I will say does include hanging upside down. And then one is enhanced jumping. So there you go, folks. Like, you have... Pardon me. So yeah. And now, mind you can swap between these every time you make a short or long rest. Now, at level 10, we have Infectious Fury. So this is a pretty cool ability. It basically ups your damage dealing when you're raging, and the beast within you curse your target with rabid fury. So here's the fun thing. You basically hit a creature and they basically temporarily go rabid, and then they have to they have to do some stuff. Like, again, I'm trying to not give out too much details, but it amplifies their damage as well. So there's additional damage tacked onto what they do. Actually, I'll just say they make an attack. They have to use their reaction to make an attack against an enemy, and they also get increased. Um. Oh, no. So you damaged them. Okay, so you don't amplify their damage. You're the one who damages them. Okay, it's a little confusing, but okay. Oh, you had to choose one of the following effects. Okay, so yeah, you can either make them attack another target, or you amp up your damage dealing by a significant amount. Like, wow. Now you can only use this a number of times equal to your proficiency mod, and you regain all expenditures when you finish a long rest. Okay. So yeah, this is a pretty fun ability. Now, for this ability, I will actually cover completely, just for funsies, because this is a really good one. It's a long one. The beast within you grows so powerful that you spread its ferocity to others and gain resilience from them joining your hunt. When you enter a rage, you can choose a number of other willing creatures that you can see within 30 feet of you, equal to your Constitution modifier. Minimum of one creature. You gain 5 temporary hit points for each creature that accepts this feature. Until the rage ends, the chosen creatures gain each use of the following benefit once on each of their turns. When a creature hits a target with an attack roll and deals damage to it, the creature can roll a d6 and gain the bonus to their damage equal to the number rolled. And you can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you gain all expended uses when you when you finish a long rest. So that's just called a hunt. It's your level 14 ability. That's really cool. Like, it adds like I really like the idea of like the barbarian, like, amplifying like his pack essentially, and by the rest of the party accepting this, because like, why wouldn't they? You become more tanky, which means you can help take on the bigger targets more effectively, without the party targeting the smaller fry or attacking from a distance. I really like it. We're sorry about the yawning, folks. You're gonna probably see that a lot. It's just I'm very tired because I didn't get a lot of sleep. So as I said, I'm gonna try and cover 2 classes today. Next up, we have the. Oh, let me just click onto this. There we go. We're moving on to the next one. Which perfectly exemplifies the next one. We have a barbarian of wild magic, as exemplified by a wood elf barbarian of wild magic. So we're just gonna go through the. Sorry, folks. Many places of the multiverse abound with beauty, intense emotion, and rampant magic. The Feywild and other planes and other realms of supernatural power radiate with such force, and can profoundly influence people. As folk of deep feeling, barbarians are especially susceptible to these wild influences, with some barbarians being transformed by magic. These magic-suffused barbarians walk the path of the wild magic. Tiefling, Azamar, and Genasi barbarians often seek this path, eager to manifest the otherworldly power of their ancestors. Now that's interesting, because I'm playing a tiefling, and instead I went down the path of the berserker. Now this wasn't out when I made my barbarian. We'll find out together if I maybe possibly should have went with this instead. Okay, magic awareness. You get this at level. You get 2 features at level 3: magic awareness and wild surge. Sorry. This basically allows you to open up your awareness to sense magic. It lasts for 1 round, and you will know the location. It allows you to know the location of pretty much any magical effect that's currently active within a certain distance behind you, around you, as long as it's not behind total cover. And you also get the sense what type of school of magic it is. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expend use when you finish a long rest. I think I kept that vague enough to fulfill my personal promise to myself of not giving too much away. That one was a bit difficult. I was to try and phrase without giving away too much. Now, this one I will read out in its entirety, but I will read out limited number of its effects because it has 8 different effects. Wild Surge. The magical energy rolling inside you sometimes erupts from you. When you enter your rage, roll on the wild magic table to determine the magical effect produced. If the effect requires a saving throw, DC is 8 plus proficiency plus constitution. Okay. God damn it. Now, see, this is something I wouldn't necessarily 100% say roll on this, and here's my reason why. Because of the earlier description of the subclass, I would allow my barbarian if I had a person playing barbarian, I would ask them about their heritage, and then I'd be like, hey, like if you want, you can have this fixed ability when you go into your wild magic surge thing. You can have this fixed ability because it best goes with the theme of your ancestry. That's my opinion. If other people don't agree with, then fair enough. This will be a home rule that I would adopt. But anyway, we'll read every odd number. Shadowy tendrils lash around you. Each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d12 necrotic damage. You also gain 1d12 temporary hit points. Now, see, that's something I could imagine for like the Shadow Elves, the Shader Kai, because they live in the Shadowfell, or someone who is vastly influenced by the Shadowfell. That's my opinion. Now, here's another thing that I could constitute as being part of the Shadowfell. An intangible spirit, which looks like a flump or a pixie. Okay, so I guess I don't know what a flump is, but I know what a pixie is. I could argue that would be actually that could be upper plane or Feywild. Actually, yeah. So this will be upper plane or Feywild. Appears within 5 feet of one of your creatures of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you. At the end of each of your at the end of your current turn, the spirit explodes, and each creature in the area must succeed a dexterity saving throw or take 1d6 force damage until your rage ends. You can use this effect again, summon another spirit at the end of each of your turns as a bonus action. I don't know what a flump is in D&D 5e. Next is, whenever a creature hits you with an attack roll before your rage ends, that creature takes 1d6 force damage as magic lashes out in retribution. I could see that as someone maybe involved in the Nine Hells or the Abyss, like sort of like the hellish rebuke that tieflings get. Here's one that's definitely Feywild, or very particular upper planes. Flowers and vines temporarily grow around you until your rage ends. The ground within 15 feet of you is difficult terrain for your enemies. Now, I can understand that some people would say, like, oh, but having a fixed one every single time would be a bit broken. This is definitely not like the wild magic sorcerer. See, that's the thing. All these 8 abilities are benefits for your character. They're all beneficial to your character, as opposed to the wild magic sorcery table, which I've been in an Adventures League with, and a sorcerer who rolled badly on it got like a very powerful fireball centered on themselves. Now, luckily enough, my character, the wizard, was far away, while the rest of the party were, together, because the person cast, get this, charmed person, and it resulted in a TPK with my character being the sole survivor completing the quest. So yeah, like the sorcerer one has negative effects and it has a much larger list. This is a shorter list and it's all beneficial. It's all beneficial. Like, I'm not seeing any negatives in this, folks. Which is why I would stand by my statement that I would rather work with my player or with the DM if it was me, and be like, hey, look, can I use this? Can I, instead of, I want to reflect this part as per the flavor of the subclass. Can I instead have one of these abilities instead of having the rest? Okay. Let's see here. At level 6, you have bolstering magic. It basically, it's a buff ability for you or one other creature. It lasts for a significant amount of time. Actually, hold on. This is actually a really powerful ability. This is a great thing for barbarians traveling with wizards or magic users. I will read out one of the sub effects. Roll a d3. The creature regains an unexpended spell slot, the level of which equals a number rolled or lower. The creature's choice. Now, however, once the creature receives this benefit, they can't receive it again until they finish a long rest. That is really useful. That makes it a barbarian a perfect this type of barbarian a perfect companion for like wizards or magic users. Now, there's also another effect which lasts for 10 minutes, and it amps up ability checks and attack rolls. And you get a number of uses equal to your proficiency bonus, which you regain on a long rest. However, the one that, as I said, with the spell slots, they can only benefit. A creature can only benefit from that once per long rest. Now let's see. At level 10, we have unstable backlash. This is when you're imperiled during your rage. The magic within you can lash out. Immediately after you take. Wow. Okay, so basically, whenever you there's no other way to say this. Whenever you take damage or fail a saving throw while you're raging, you can spend your reaction on the wild magic table to just roll it, and you produce that effect immediately. But however, this effect replaces your current wild magic effect straight away. And then there's Control Surge. Whenever you roll on the table, you get to roll twice and choose which of the two effects unleash. If you roll the same number on both dice, you can ignore the number and choose any effect on the table. So you do, okay, so I suppose at level 14 you do get a bit more say in the ability, but I don't know, it's just like, it's like what the subclass description does not fit what you actually get from this. So that's how I would rule it. Alright, folks, and that covers the Barbarian. So, I'm going to try and cover the Bard as well. Oh god, give me we're going to take a brief break here, folks. Give me a moment. I'm going to go blow my nose and take a sip of my hot tea. Alright, so we're just going to hold this little cover down. Ugh. Mm. Sorry about that, folks. That's the handy thing with that having a like little cover flap. I can. Yes. I really need to start texting my family folks whenever I'm recording because like they would just randomly shout up to me. Actually, it's a bit late now. We're just going to stop the recording.